Imagine, for a moment, that the most powerful tool for a meaningful and fulfilled life isn't something you can buy, earn, or receive as a gift from others. It's already within you, waiting to be discovered and harnessed. This isn't merely a thought experiment. It's a profound reality grounded in the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. This ancient philosophy has guided countless individuals through the ages toward living with purpose, resilience, and tranquility. Stoicism teaches us that the key to a life well lived isn't found in external accolades or material success. Instead, it lies in mastering the art of valuing ourselves through the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This powerful reminder encourages us to look within for our true worth rather than seeking validation from the chaos surrounding us. Consider this: how often do we find ourselves caught in the relentless pursuit of approval from others? Whether it's striving for promotions at work, seeking likes on social media, or trying to fit into societal expectations, we often measure our value by how others perceive us. Yet, Stoicism invites us to challenge that notion. It asserts that we hold the ultimate power over our perceptions, judgments, and actions. When we fail to recognize our inherent worth, we risk settling for less than we deserve, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal aspirations. In this journey, we will peel back the layers of societal expectations and self-doubt to uncover timeless Stoic principles that can transform how we perceive ourselves and our place in the world. This exploration is not just about self-improvement. It's about rediscovering our inherent worth and learning to live in alignment with our deepest values. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight highlights the importance of our responses and choices in defining our lives, encouraging us to act with integrity and purpose. To illustrate this, think about a time when you faced a challenging situation, perhaps a difficult conversation with a colleague, an unexpected setback in your career, or a personal crisis. In those moments, did you focus on the external circumstances, or did you seek to understand your own reactions and choices? Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our internal responses rather than attributing our worth to external factors. By doing so, we empower ourselves to reclaim our value and make choices that align with our true selves. So, if you're ready to unlock the doors to personal freedom, resilience, and fulfillment, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this adventure together, exploring how the wisdom of Stoicism can illuminate the path to valuing ourselves like never before. Remember, the only thing I ask of you is not to skip this video in any way. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority, an exception. Now act like one and engage with every part of this content. As we delve into the 13 signs of undervaluing ourselves, let's keep in mind that each sign is an opportunity for growth. Together, we can learn to embrace our worth and cultivate a life rich in meaning and purpose. Sign 1. Settling for what's beneath your value. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's all too easy to find ourselves settling for less than we deserve. Whether in our careers, relationships, or personal aspirations, many of us fall into the trap of accepting situations that do not align with our true worth. This phenomenon is not just a personal failing. It's a cultural issue that runs deep in our society. We often compromise and convince ourselves that this is as good as it gets. But why do we do this? At its core, settling for less stems from a combination of fear and comfort. We fear the unknown, the risk of change, and the discomfort that comes with pursuing something greater. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely stated, "The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity." This highlights the courage required to move beyond our current situations and claim what we truly deserve. Consider the example of a person stuck in a job that drains their energy and passion. They may feel comfortable in this role, perhaps because it provides financial security, routine, or familiarity. However, this comfort comes at a cost. Stagnation, dissatisfaction, and a gradual erosion of self-worth. The longer they remain in this position, the more they may internalize the belief that they are not worthy of pursuing their dreams or finding a more fulfilling career. This acceptance of less is a denial of their potential and an undervaluation of their capabilities. Moreover, our surroundings often reinforce this mindset. We live in a society that glorifies busyness and equates it with productivity and worth. We see others working tirelessly in jobs they don't love, sacrificing their well-being for the sake of financial gain or social status. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote serves as a powerful reminder that our worth is not determined by our circumstances but by our responses to them. Stoicism teaches us that while we may not have control over every aspect of our lives, we do have control over our perceptions, judgments, and actions. It empowers us to challenge the notion that our worth is tied to our job title, relationship status, or bank account balance. When we accept less than we deserve, we are essentially relinquishing our power. We are saying, "My circumstances define me," rather than recognizing that we define our own circumstances through our choices and actions. To illustrate this further, let's consider a relationship dynamic. Many individuals remain in unhealthy relationships out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, or fear of facing the unknown. They may convince themselves that their partner's behavior is acceptable or that they can change them. Yet, by settling for a relationship that does not uplift or support them, they undermine their own value and potential for happiness. Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our values and ask ourselves, is this situation aligning with my true self? This self-inquiry can provide clarity and motivate us to make necessary changes. Another common scenario involves the pursuit of dreams. Many people have aspirations and passions they set aside because they believe they are not worthy of pursuing them. They might think, "I'm not talented enough," or "I don't have the right connections." This self-doubt is deeply ingrained and often reinforced by external voices telling us what we can or cannot achieve. However, the Stoics remind us that we possess the inner resources to pursue our dreams. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This emphasizes the importance of our mindset and the choices we make in the face of challenges. To overcome the tendency to settle, we must first recognize our inherent worth. This involves reframing how we view ourselves and our capabilities. One practical exercise is to create a list of your achievements, strengths, and values. Reflect on moments in your life when you exhibited courage, resilience, or wisdom. Acknowledge the effort and virtues that led to these accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. This reflection can help counteract the negative self-talk that often accompanies settling. Additionally, surrounding ourselves with supportive and uplifting individuals can significantly impact our self-perception. Seek out relationships that encourage growth and challenge you to reach your potential. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By surrounding ourselves with those who recognize and appreciate our worth, we can reinforce our belief in ourselves and our capabilities. It's also essential to practice self-compassion. When we find ourselves in situations where we've settled, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-blame and criticism. Instead, acknowledge that we are all human and make mistakes. The Stoics understood that setbacks are part of the human experience. Seneca noted, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Embracing this perspective allows us to approach our decisions with kindness and understanding, rather than harsh judgment. Finally, take actionable steps toward change. If you recognize areas where you are settling, create a plan for improvement. This could mean seeking new job opportunities, setting boundaries in relationships, or pursuing hobbies that ignite your passion. Remember that change often requires courage, but it is through these courageous acts that we reclaim our worth and live authentically. In conclusion, settling for what's beneath your value is a common yet detrimental pattern that many of us fall into. However, by embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can challenge this mindset and recognize our inherent worth. It requires self-reflection, courage, and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones. As you move forward, remember to reflect on your values, acknowledge your achievements, and take actionable steps toward a life that aligns with your true worth. Sign 2. Downplaying your accomplishments. In a world that often celebrates achievement, it may seem counterintuitive that many of us struggle to acknowledge our own successes. Downplaying our accomplishments is a pervasive issue that can significantly undermine our self-worth and potential. Whether it's in our personal lives, careers, or relationships, many individuals find themselves attributing their achievements to luck or external factors rather than recognizing their hard work and dedication. This tendency not only distorts our self-perception but also limits our ability to grow and thrive. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely stated, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. This quote reflects the inner narratives we create that lead us to diminish our own successes. We often fear that acknowledging our achievements might appear boastful or arrogant, leading to an internal conflict that results in self-deprecation. The irony is that by downplaying our accomplishments, we rob ourselves of the joy and satisfaction that comes from recognizing our efforts and growth. Consider the scenario of a professional who has just completed a significant project successfully. Instead of celebrating the hard work that went into the project, they might think, "I was just lucky to have a great team," or "it wasn't that big of a deal." By dismissing their contributions, they not only diminish their sense of achievement but also overlook the virtues they exercised, like discipline, perseverance, and teamwork. This pattern can lead to a cycle of self-doubt where each success feels less meaningful than the last. The Stoics remind us that recognizing our accomplishments is not about inflating our egos, but about honoring the virtues that led us there. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This call to action encourages us to embody the virtues we aspire to live by, which includes recognizing our efforts and the integrity behind our achievements. When we acknowledge our successes, we affirm the values we stood for in the process, reinforcing our sense of self-worth. To counteract the habit of downplaying accomplishments, it is essential to shift our mindset. One practical approach is to maintain a success journal. In this journal, you can document your daily or weekly achievements, big or small. This could include completing a challenging task at work, learning a new skill, or even personal milestones like maintaining a healthy routine. The act of writing down these successes helps to create a tangible record of your accomplishments, making it easier to reflect on your growth over time. Additionally, consider how you respond to compliments. When someone recognizes your efforts, do you deflect praise or downplay your contributions? Instead of saying, "It was nothing," try responding with gratitude. "Thank you, I worked hard on that project, and I'm proud of the outcome." This simple shift in language not only reinforces your self-worth but also models a healthy attitude toward recognition for others. Another important aspect of acknowledging accomplishments is to understand the connection between our achievements and the virtues we embody. The Stoics believe that virtue is the highest good and that living in accordance with virtue is what brings fulfillment. Reflect on the virtues you exercise to achieve your successes, be it courage in stepping out of your comfort zone, wisdom in making informed decisions, or perseverance in overcoming challenges. By recognizing these virtues, you reinforce your self-identity and build a foundation of inner strength. For example, think about a time when you faced a difficult decision. If you ultimately chose the path that aligned with your values, take a moment to celebrate that choice. Acknowledge that your wisdom guided you and recognize that this is a reflection of your character. By doing so, you cultivate a stronger sense of self and reinforce the idea that your worth is tied to your values and actions, not just the outcomes. Moreover, it's crucial to engage in conversations that support a culture of recognition. Share your accomplishments with trusted friends, family members, or colleagues who appreciate and celebrate your efforts. Create an environment where success is acknowledged and valued. This can be as simple as participating in a team meeting where colleagues share their wins or initiating discussions with friends about personal milestones. Such practices not only bolster your confidence but also encourage others to recognize their own achievements. Another powerful exercise is to reflect on past accomplishments when faced with self-doubt. When you catch yourself downplaying your efforts, remind yourself of your previous successes. Reflect on the challenges you overcame and the skills you developed along the way. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By mastering your narrative and acknowledging your achievements, you reclaim your freedom and agency. In addition to personal reflection, it's essential to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for your journey. Recognize that every accomplishment, no matter how small, is a step toward your greater goals. Reflecting on your progress and the lessons learned along the way can help foster a sense of appreciation for your efforts. This practice of gratitude aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control, allowing us to embrace our journey without undue comparison or self-judgment. Ultimately, the path to valuing our accomplishments lies in our willingness to embrace our worth and recognize the virtues that guide us. By acknowledging our achievements, we not only reinforce our self-esteem but also inspire others to do the same. Stoicism teaches us that our worth is inherent and not contingent upon external validation. As we learn to celebrate our successes, we foster an environment of growth, resilience, and authenticity. In conclusion, downplaying our accomplishments is a disservice to ourselves and our potential. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can challenge the narratives that lead us to diminish our worth. Through practices like maintaining a success journal, responding graciously to compliments, and reflecting on the virtues behind our achievements, we can cultivate a healthier self-perception. Let us remember that acknowledging our successes is not about ego, but about honoring the effort, dedication, and values that brought us to where we are today. As you move forward, commit to celebrating your achievements and recognizing the virtues that accompany them. By doing so, you empower yourself and reinforce the belief that you are indeed worthy of all the success and fulfillment life has to offer. Sign 3. Putting everyone else first. In our fast-paced and interconnected world, many individuals find themselves in a cycle of self-sacrifice, often prioritizing the needs and desires of others over their own. While altruism and compassion are commendable virtues, consistently putting everyone else first can lead to personal burnout, resentment, and a loss of self-identity. This pattern not only undermines our well-being, but also hinders our ability to contribute meaningfully to the lives of those we care about. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle encourages us to examine our responses to the demands placed upon us by others. When we prioritize others' needs at the expense of our own, we often do so out of fear of disappointing them, fear of being perceived as selfish, or fear of losing connection. However, this misplaced sense of duty can lead to a cycle of neglecting our own well-being. Consider a scenario where a dedicated employee consistently stays late at work to help colleagues with their tasks, even when it compromises their own health and personal time. Initially, this behavior may stem from a desire to be seen as a team player or to avoid conflict. However, over time, this self-neglect can lead to exhaustion and resentment. Instead of feeling appreciated, the individual may become frustrated, feeling taken for granted. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Recognizing that our well-being is ultimately within our control allows us to set boundaries and prioritize self-care. The Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control is particularly relevant here. We must understand what is within our control and what is not. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions fall within our realm of influence, while the thoughts and actions of others do not. By accepting this distinction, we can make conscious choices about where to direct our energy and how to respond to others' needs. Another common example is found in personal relationships. Many individuals place the desires and needs of their partners, family members, or friends above their own, often to the detriment of their mental and emotional health. For instance, a person may agree to attend social events or family gatherings they would rather avoid, simply to appease others. While it is important to be supportive and present for loved ones, neglecting our own needs can lead to feelings of resentment and burnout. The Stoics remind us that self-care is not selfish. It is essential for sustaining our ability to care for others. To counteract the tendency to put everyone else first, we must first recognize the importance of self-care. As Seneca stated, "You must gain control over your future if you could have a chance to be happy." Making time for self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. When we prioritize our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, we are better equipped to support others in meaningful ways. One practical step toward achieving this balance is to establish boundaries. Setting clear limits on how much time and energy we devote to others is crucial. This might involve saying no to requests that do not align with our values or that would overextend us. For example, if you are already feeling overwhelmed with work, it is perfectly acceptable to decline an invitation to take on additional responsibilities, whether at work or in personal commitments. By doing so, you honor your own needs and create space for self-care. Another effective strategy is to practice self-reflection. Take time to evaluate your priorities and commitments. Ask yourself questions like, am I giving too much of myself to others? Or what do I need right now to feel balanced and fulfilled? Journaling can be an excellent tool for this practice. Writing down your thoughts can help clarify your feelings and encourage you to prioritize your own well-being. It's also helpful to cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When we believe that there is enough support and love to go around, we are less likely to feel guilty about prioritizing our own needs. Recognize that by taking care of yourself, you are not depriving others of your love or support. Rather, you are ensuring that you can contribute to their lives in a more meaningful and sustainable way. As Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Change takes time and effort, and nurturing your own well-being is a vital part of that process. In addition to setting boundaries and practicing self-reflection, it's essential to seek support from those around you. Surround yourself with individuals who respect your needs and encourage you to take care of yourself. Engaging in open conversations with friends or family about your feelings can foster deeper connections and mutual understanding. For instance, sharing your struggles with a close friend may lead to a collaborative effort in setting boundaries that benefit both of you. Moreover, consider the long-term consequences of consistently putting others first. While it may feel noble in the short term, sacrificing your own needs can lead to a depletion of energy and enthusiasm over time. This depletion can ultimately affect your relationships and diminish your ability to support others effectively. As Marcus Aurelius stated, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By prioritizing your own happiness and well-being, you cultivate a positive mindset that can radiate outwards, benefiting those around you. Lastly, remember that it is okay to be vulnerable and ask for help when you need it. Stoicism teaches us that admitting our limitations is not a sign of weakness, but rather an acknowledgement of our humanity. If you find yourself overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out for support, whether from friends, family, or professional resources. This act of seeking help is a crucial aspect of self-care and ensures that you can continue to be there for others without sacrificing your own well-being. In conclusion, putting everyone else first may seem like a noble pursuit, but it can lead to burnout and resentment if taken to extremes. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to strike a balance between caring for others and caring for ourselves. Setting boundaries, practicing self-reflection, cultivating a mindset of abundance, and seeking support are vital steps in reclaiming our worth and ensuring that we can contribute meaningfully to the lives of those we love. As you move forward, commit to recognizing your own needs as equally important. Remember that by taking care of yourself, you not only enhance your own life, but also empower yourself to be a more effective and supportive friend, partner, and community member. Strive to find that balance, and you will discover that true fulfillment comes not from self-sacrifice, but from honoring both your needs and the needs of others. Sign 4. Deflecting praise and recognition. In a society that often emphasizes achievement and success, you might expect individuals to embrace praise and recognition wholeheartedly. Yet, many people find themselves deflecting compliments and downplaying their contributions. This behavior can stem from a variety of factors, including cultural conditioning, self-doubt, and an ingrained sense of humility. While modesty can be a virtue, excessive deflection of praise can undermine our self-worth and prevent us from fully embracing our achievements. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus claimed, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This idea is particularly relevant when we consider how we respond to praise. For instance, when someone compliments you on a job well done, do you quickly brush it off by saying, "Oh, it was nothing," or "anyone could have done it"? Such responses not only diminish your accomplishments but also reinforce negative self-perceptions. Consider the example of a successful project manager who has led their team to complete a significant project ahead of schedule. When colleagues express admiration for the effort, this individual might respond with, "I just got lucky," or "I had a great team." While it's true that teamwork is essential, this response diminishes their role and the skills they brought to the table. By deflecting praise, they fail to acknowledge their own hard work, dedication, and the virtues they embodied throughout the process, such as leadership, resilience, and strategic thinking. This tendency to downplay our achievements can be particularly pronounced in cultures that value humility. In many societies, individuals are taught that boasting about one's successes is arrogant. However, there is a crucial distinction between humility and self-deprecation. Acknowledging your accomplishments does not equate to bragging. Rather, it reflects a healthy self-awareness and recognition of your own worth. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said, "You have to keep yourself simple, pure, serious, unpretentious, a friend of justice, godlike, and kind." This wisdom suggests that it is perfectly acceptable to recognize and accept praise while remaining grounded and virtuous. Accepting compliments gracefully can enhance our self-esteem and encourage others to recognize their own contributions as well. To address the habit of deflecting praise, it is essential to cultivate a mindset that embraces acknowledgement. One practical strategy is to practice self-affirmation. When someone compliments you, instead of dismissing it, take a moment to reflect on the positive feedback. For example, if a colleague praises your presentation skills, respond with, "Thank you. I put a lot of effort into preparing for that, and I'm glad it resonated with you." This response not only acknowledges the compliment, but also reinforces your confidence in your abilities. Another effective technique involves keeping a praise journal. In this journal, you can document compliments and positive feedback you receive from others. Reflecting on these entries can help you internalize the recognition and combat the instinct to downplay your achievements. Over time, this practice fosters a more positive self-image and encourages you to embrace your worth. Additionally, consider the impact of your responses on those around you. When you deflect praise, it can create an environment where others feel uncomfortable acknowledging their successes as well. By accepting compliments graciously, you set a positive example that encourages a culture of recognition and support. As Seneca observed, a good character, when established, will never be shaken. Embracing your worth fortifies your character and inspires others to do the same. It's also important to confront the underlying beliefs that drive the need to deflect praise. Ask yourself, what fears or insecurities are influencing my response? Are you worried about being perceived as arrogant? Recognize that humility does not require self-denial. Instead, it requires self-awareness. Accepting praise can coexist with modesty as long as you remain grounded in your values and intentions. Moreover, practicing gratitude can help shift your perspective on praise. When someone acknowledges your efforts, view it as an opportunity to express gratitude rather than a moment to downplay your contributions. Responding with a simple, "Thank you, I appreciate that," can transform the interaction and reinforce your sense of self-worth. Additionally, consider the role of self-compassion in this process. When you find yourself deflecting praise, remind yourself that it is acceptable to take pride in your accomplishments. As the Stoics teach, we are all human and deserving of recognition for our efforts. Embracing self-compassion allows you to honor your successes without comparing them to others or downplaying their significance. In a practical sense, you can also engage in conversations about achievements with trusted friends or mentors. Share your experiences and successes with those who support you. This dialogue can reinforce your understanding of your worth and help you become more comfortable with accepting praise in various contexts. When you discuss your accomplishments openly, you normalize the experience and make it easier to embrace recognition in the future. Furthermore, consider how you frame your internal dialogue. Instead of thinking, "I don't deserve this praise," reframe it as, "This praise reflects my hard work and commitment." By changing your internal narrative, you cultivate a more positive self-image and create room for greater self-acceptance. In conclusion, deflecting praise and recognition is a common behavior that can significantly impact our self-worth and potential. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to acknowledge our accomplishments without fear or guilt. Practicing self-affirmation, maintaining a praise journal, and engaging in open conversations about achievements are practical steps that can help us cultivate a healthier relationship with recognition. As you move forward, commit to accepting compliments graciously and recognizing the virtues behind your successes. Remember that acknowledging your worth is not a sign of arrogance, but rather an affirmation of the effort, dedication, and values that shape who you are. By embracing praise, you empower yourself to live authentically and inspire those around you to do the same. Sign 5. Hesitating when choices need to be made. In our daily lives, we are constantly faced with choices, both big and small. Whether it's deciding on a career path, choosing a partner, or even selecting which project to tackle at work, the decisions we make shape our lives in profound ways. However, many of us experience hesitation and paralysis when it comes to making choices. This reluctance often stems from a fear of making the wrong decision, leading to feelings of anxiety and self-doubt. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This quote reminds us that our emotional state and mindset significantly influence how we navigate our choices. When we hesitate, we may be allowing our fears and insecurities to dictate our actions rather than embracing the clarity and confidence that comes from aligning our choices with our values. Consider the example of a young professional who has been offered 2 job opportunities. One position offers a higher salary but lacks alignment with their personal values and interests, while the other aligns perfectly with their passions but offers lower pay. Instead of weighing the options and making a decision, this individual may become paralyzed by fear of financial instability, fear of disappointing their family, or fear of choosing the wrong path. In this case, they might default to inaction, convincing themselves that they need more time to think about it. Yet, this hesitation can lead to missed opportunities and increased anxiety. Stoicism teaches us to approach decision-making with a sense of clarity and purpose. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this in his writings, stating, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." This highlights the importance of cultivating a positive mindset when faced with choices. Instead of succumbing to fear, we can choose to focus on our values and the virtues we wish to embody in our decisions. One effective strategy to overcome decision-making paralysis is to practice the Stoic principle of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves contemplating the worst-case scenarios associated with a decision, not to dwell on negativity, but to diminish the power of fear over our choices. By considering potential obstacles and challenges, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for whatever lies ahead. For example, if you fear that accepting a new job may lead to increased stress, consider the ways you can manage that stress, such as setting boundaries, seeking support, or practicing self-care. Furthermore, it is crucial to ground our decisions in our values and principles. When faced with a choice, take a moment to reflect on what is most important to you. Ask yourself questions such as, does this option align with my values? Or how will this decision impact my long-term goals? By clarifying your values, you create a framework for decision-making that aligns with your authentic self. Another practical exercise involves breaking down significant decisions into smaller, more manageable steps. This approach can alleviate feelings of overwhelm and make the decision-making process feel less daunting. For instance, if you are considering a career change, start by researching potential positions, networking with individuals in those fields, or seeking mentorship. By taking incremental steps, you empower yourself to make informed choices without feeling paralyzed by the magnitude of the decision. In addition, it can be beneficial to seek advice from trusted friends or mentors. Discussing your thoughts and concerns with others can provide valuable insights and perspectives that you may not have considered. As Seneca wisely advised, if you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desire. This notion applies to decision-making as well. By seeking clarity and guidance from others, you can reduce the noise of fear and uncertainty that often clouds our judgment. Moreover, it's crucial to recognize that no decision is set in stone. The Stoics understood that life is fluid and that our choices are part of a larger journey. If you make a decision that doesn't yield the desired outcome, view it as an opportunity for growth rather than a failure. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This perspective encourages us to learn from our experiences and adapt, rather than becoming stagnant or fearful of making future choices. Another effective technique is to visualize the outcomes of both choices. Imagine yourself in each scenario experiencing the emotions and consequences of your decision. By mentally exploring the possibilities, you can gain clarity and insight into what truly resonates with you. For instance, if you are torn between two potential job offers, visualize yourself in both roles, consider the work environment, the people you would interact with, and how each position aligns with your long-term goals. This exercise can help you make a more informed choice that aligns with your values. It's also essential to cultivate self-compassion during the decision-making process. Understand that hesitation is a common human experience, and it doesn't define your worth or capabilities. Practice kindness toward yourself as you navigate choices, recognizing that it's okay to seek help and take your time. The Stoics emphasized the importance of accepting our limitations and imperfections. As Epictetus stated, no one is free who is not master of himself. By acknowledging your feelings and practicing self-compassion, you empower yourself to take control of your decisions. In conclusion, hesitating when choices need to be made is a common struggle that can hinder our personal growth and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to navigate our decisions with clarity and purpose. Practicing premeditatio malorum, grounding our choices in values, breaking decisions into manageable steps, and seeking support from others are essential strategies to overcome hesitation. As you move forward, commit to embracing the power of your choices. Remember that every decision is an opportunity for growth and learning. By cultivating a mindset that prioritizes your values and virtues, you empower yourself to make choices that align with your true self. Embrace the journey of decision-making as a path to greater self-awareness and fulfillment. Ultimately, the courage to make choices is an essential aspect of living a life of purpose and authenticity. Sign 6. Being your own harshest critic. In a world that often measures our worth by our achievements and external validations, many individuals fall into the trap of being their own harshest critics. This inner voice of self-criticism can be relentless, leading to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and diminished self-esteem. While striving for improvement is a natural human trait, the line between constructive self-reflection and destructive self-criticism can often become blurred. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This statement highlights the tendency of our minds to amplify our perceived failures and shortcomings. When we constantly criticize ourselves, we create a mental narrative that can distort our self-image and inhibit our ability to recognize our strengths and accomplishments. This self-berating mindset not only hinders personal growth, but also creates a cycle of negativity that can be challenging to break. Consider a scenario where a student receives a grade that falls short of their expectations. Rather than acknowledging the effort they put into studying or recognizing areas for improvement, they might focus exclusively on the disappointment. They may think, "I'm not smart enough," or "I'll never succeed." This harsh self-judgment can lead to decreased motivation and a reluctance to try again in the future. Instead of using the experience as a learning opportunity, they become trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and criticism. Stoicism teaches us the importance of viewing ourselves objectively. This means recognizing and acknowledging our strengths just as openly as we acknowledge our areas for improvement. As Marcus Aurelius noted, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." This perspective encourages us to understand that our true essence is not defined by our mistakes or failures, but by our capacity for growth, resilience, and virtue. To shift from being your own harshest critic to a more balanced self-assessor, it's essential to practice self-compassion. This concept, often misunderstood, does not imply that we should make excuses for our shortcomings or avoid accountability. Instead, it involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a good friend. When we experience setbacks or failures, we can ask ourselves, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" This practice can help us develop a more constructive inner dialogue. For example, if you miss a deadline at work, instead of berating yourself with thoughts like, "I'm so irresponsible," try reframing your perspective. Ask yourself, "What led to this situation? And what can I learn from it?" This shift in focus allows you to address the issue without descending into harsh self-criticism. Recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that these experiences are part of human growth is a crucial aspect of self-compassion. Another effective strategy is to cultivate a gratitude practice. Taking time each day to reflect on what you appreciate about yourself can counteract negative self-talk. Consider keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you value about yourself or your accomplishments each day. This practice can help reinforce a positive self-image and shift your focus from what you perceive as flaws to the qualities that make you unique and capable. Furthermore, it's essential to challenge negative beliefs that contribute to self-criticism. Often, we internalize messages from society, family, or peers that shape our self-perception. These beliefs can become so ingrained that we accept them as truths. To combat this, take time to identify these negative beliefs and question their validity. Ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a distortion of reality? By reframing these thoughts, you can reduce their power over your self-esteem. For instance, if you often think, "I am not as talented as my colleagues," challenge that belief by listing your unique skills and contributions. Compare your strengths to those of your colleagues, recognizing that everyone has different talents. By acknowledging your individuality, you can foster a greater sense of self-worth. Another important aspect of overcoming self-criticism is to focus on progress rather than perfection. The Stoics understood that life is not a straight path, but rather a journey filled with twists, turns, and obstacles. As Epictetus stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective encourages us to view our experiences as opportunities for growth rather than as failures. When you catch yourself engaging in self-criticism, remind yourself that perfection is an illusion. Instead, celebrate the progress you've made, no matter how small. Acknowledge the effort you've put into learning and growing, and recognize that every step forward is valuable. This shift in mindset can help alleviate the pressure to be perfect and allow for a more compassionate view of yourself. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive individuals can play a significant role in combating self-criticism. Engage with friends, family, or mentors who uplift and encourage you. Share your thoughts and feelings with them, and seek their perspective on your achievements. Often, others can see our strengths more clearly than we can. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can cultivate a more constructive inner dialogue. Moreover, embrace the concept of lifelong learning. The Stoics believed that wisdom is not a destination but a continuous journey. Emphasizing this idea can help you view mistakes and failures as valuable lessons rather than as indicators of your worth. When you approach challenges with a growth mindset, you become more resilient in the face of adversity, allowing you to learn and adapt rather than retreat into self-criticism. In conclusion, being your own harshest critic is a common struggle that can significantly impact your self-worth and potential. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to cultivate a more balanced and compassionate self-view. Practicing self-compassion, challenging negative beliefs, focusing on progress, and surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals are vital steps in overcoming self-criticism. As you move forward, commit to treating yourself with kindness and understanding. Remember that you are deserving of the same compassion and support that you offer to others. By embracing your worth and recognizing your strengths, you empower yourself to live authentically and pursue your goals with confidence. Ultimately, the journey of self-acceptance is an essential aspect of leading a fulfilling and meaningful life, one that reflects the true virtues of Stoicism. Sign 7. Measuring yourself against others. In an age dominated by social media and constant connectivity, it is all too easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. Whether it's scrolling through curated images of seemingly perfect lives on Instagram or hearing about a colleague's promotion, many individuals find themselves measuring their worth against the accomplishments of those around them. This tendency can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a distorted sense of self-value. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus insightfully remarked, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom underscores the importance of introspection and self-awareness over external comparison. When we focus excessively on what others achieve, we divert our attention from our unique journey and the qualities that make us who we are. Consider the experience of a young artist who frequently compares their work to that of more established peers. Instead of celebrating their own artistic growth and unique style, they might feel disheartened and question their abilities. Thoughts like, "I'll never be as good as them," or "I should give up," may surface, leading to a crisis of confidence. This cycle of comparison not only stifles creativity but also detracts from the joy of the artistic process itself. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth should not hinge on how we measure up to others. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." This metaphor serves as a poignant reminder that our true essence is not defined by external achievements or the accolades of others. Instead, we must focus on cultivating our character and virtues, which are the true measures of a fulfilling life. To break free from the habit of comparison, we can adopt several practical strategies. One effective approach is to practice gratitude for our own journey. Take time each day to reflect on your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Keep a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself or your achievements. This practice can help shift your focus from what others are doing to what you have accomplished, fostering a sense of self-worth rooted in your unique experiences. Furthermore, it can be beneficial to limit exposure to social media or curate your feeds to include accounts that inspire rather than induce comparison. Follow individuals who embody the values you aspire to and whose journeys resonate with your own. When you see others as sources of inspiration rather than benchmarks for your worth, you can appreciate their successes while remaining focused on your path. Another powerful exercise is to engage in self-reflection. Ask yourself why you feel the need to compare yourself to others. Often, this need stems from insecurities or societal pressures that dictate what success looks like. By identifying the underlying beliefs that drive your comparisons, you can challenge and reframe them. Questions like, what do I truly value? And what are my personal goals? Can help redirect your focus toward your individual journey. Additionally, it is essential to recognize that everyone has their own challenges and struggles, regardless of how their lives may appear from the outside. The curated nature of social media often presents an unrealistic portrayal of life, leading us to believe that others are effortlessly successful. In reality, each person has faced obstacles and setbacks that are not always visible. As Seneca wisely noted, a good character, when established, will never be shaken. This reinforces the idea that true strength comes from within and is not dependent on the external validation of others. Moreover, engaging in conversations with trusted friends or mentors can provide valuable perspective. Discussing your feelings of comparison can help illuminate the irrationality of these thoughts. Often, those close to you may offer insights that remind you of your strengths and unique qualities. Sharing your journey with others fosters a sense of community and support that can help combat feelings of inadequacy. Another effective strategy is to set personal goals that are independent of external benchmarks. Define what success means to you, rather than measuring it against the achievements of others. For instance, if you're a writer, instead of comparing your work to bestsellers, focus on your personal growth as a writer. Maybe set a goal to write a certain number of words each day or to explore a new genre. This shift in focus allows you to celebrate your progress and achievements without the burden of comparison. Additionally, consider the importance of self-acceptance. Embrace your individuality and recognize that your journey is uniquely yours. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature, which includes recognizing and accepting who you are as a person. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating positive thoughts about yourself and your abilities, you can reduce the impulse to compare and instead focus on your personal growth. It's also helpful to remember that comparison can be a double-edged sword. While it can sometimes motivate us to improve, it often leads to feelings of inadequacy and discouragement. Instead of measuring yourself against others, consider using their successes as inspiration. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this person? Or, how can I apply their success to my own journey? This shift in perspective transforms comparison from a negative experience to a constructive one. In conclusion, measuring yourself against others is a common struggle that can detract from your sense of self-worth and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, you can learn to redirect your focus inward and appreciate your unique journey. Practicing gratitude, limiting exposure to negative influences, engaging in self-reflection, and setting personal goals are essential steps in overcoming the habit of comparison. As you move forward, commit to celebrating your individuality and recognizing the value you bring to the world. Remember that your worth is not defined by how you stack up against others, but by your character, values, and the journey you undertake. Embrace the beauty of your path, and you will discover that true fulfillment comes from living authentically and in alignment with your own aspirations. Sign 8. Neglecting your own growth and interests. In our busy lives, it's easy to lose sight of personal growth and the interests that bring us joy and fulfillment. Many individuals become so engrossed in the demands of work, family, and societal expectations that they neglect their own passions and aspirations. This neglect can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, burnout, and a sense of lost identity. The Stoics understood that personal growth is essential not only for individual well-being but also for contributing meaningfully to society. Seneca wisely remarked, "The mind is like a fire to be kindled, not a vessel to be filled." This quote encapsulates the idea that our minds thrive on growth, exploration, and the pursuit of knowledge. When we ignore our interests and fail to invest time in our personal development, we risk extinguishing this inner flame. Instead, we must cultivate our passions and pursuits to nourish our minds and spirits. Consider the example of a professional who has a deep passion for photography but finds themselves working long hours in a job that does not inspire them. Over time, they may abandon their hobby, convincing themselves that they don't have the time or energy to pursue it. As a result, they miss out on the joy and creativity that photography once brought to their life. This neglect not only diminishes their happiness but can also lead to a profound sense of emptiness and unfulfillment. Stoicism teaches us that engaging in activities that resonate with our values and interests is not merely a luxury, it is a necessity for living a fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This empowers us to take charge of our lives, including the pursuit of our interests and passions. To combat the neglect of personal growth, it is crucial to establish a mindset that prioritizes self-investment. One practical step is to identify your interests and passions. Take time to reflect on what activities bring you joy and fulfillment. Are there hobbies you used to enjoy but have set aside? Are there skills you've always wanted to develop? Make a list of these interests and commit to nurturing them. For example, if you've always wanted to learn a new language, set aside time each week to practice. Consider enrolling in a class, using language learning apps, or joining a conversation group. By actively engaging in pursuits that resonate with you, you not only enrich your life but also foster a sense of accomplishment and growth. Another effective strategy is to create a balanced schedule that includes time for personal interests. In our fast-paced world, it is easy to become overwhelmed by responsibilities, leaving little room for self-care and growth. However, intentionally blocking out time for activities that you enjoy can make a significant difference in your overall well-being. This could involve dedicating an hour each week to painting, writing, or practicing a musical instrument. Treat this time as non-negotiable, just as you would an important work meeting or family obligation. Moreover, it's beneficial to engage in lifelong learning. The Stoics believed that wisdom is an ongoing pursuit and we should never stop seeking knowledge and growth. Whether through reading books, attending workshops, or taking online courses, investing in your education can open new doors and inspire fresh perspectives. As Seneca noted, while we wait for life, life passes. This reminder emphasizes the importance of making the most of our time and actively pursuing our interests and growth. Additionally, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals can provide motivation and encouragement. Seek out communities or groups that share your interests. Engaging with others who are passionate about similar pursuits can provide inspiration and keep you accountable. For instance, if you enjoy hiking, consider joining a local hiking club where you can meet others who share your love for the outdoors. This sense of community not only enhances your experience but also fosters a support system that encourages personal growth. It's also important to practice self-compassion when it comes to pursuing your interests. Many people feel guilty for taking time for themselves, believing that they should always prioritize others' needs. However, the Stoics understood that self-care is essential for maintaining balance. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." This metaphor serves as a reminder that our physical and mental health is paramount. By investing in your own growth and interests, you become better equipped to support others and contribute meaningfully to their lives. Furthermore, reflect on the long-term consequences of neglecting your interests. When we prioritize work or obligations at the expense of our passions, we risk losing touch with what brings us joy and fulfillment. This neglect can lead to deeper issues such as burnout, dissatisfaction, and a sense of identity crisis. By recognizing the value of personal growth and the pursuit of interests, we create a foundation for a more balanced and meaningful life. In addition, consider setting specific goals related to your interests. For example, if you enjoy cooking, challenge yourself to try a new recipe each week or take a culinary class. If writing is your passion, set a goal to complete a certain number of pages or articles each month. These goals provide structure and motivation, making it easier to prioritize your interests amidst life's demands. Finally, remember that it's never too late to reignite your passions. Whether you've set aside interests for years or are just beginning to explore new ones, the journey of personal growth is ongoing. The Stoics believed in the importance of resilience and adaptability. As Seneca stated, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Embrace the idea that every day is an opportunity to pursue what you love and to invest in your growth. In conclusion, neglecting your own growth and interests is a common challenge that can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to prioritize our passions and cultivate a mindset that values personal development. Identifying your interests, creating a balanced schedule, engaging in lifelong learning, surrounding yourself with supportive individuals, and practicing self-compassion are essential steps in overcoming this neglect. As you move forward, commit to nurturing your interests and investing in your growth. Remember that your passions are not just hobbies, they are essential aspects of your identity and well-being. By embracing your interests, you empower yourself to live authentically and lead a life rich in meaning and fulfillment. The journey of personal growth is a lifelong endeavor, one that is worth every effort. Sign 9. Depending on others for self-worth. In a world that often emphasizes connectivity and social validation, it is common for individuals to find themselves dependent on others for their sense of self-worth. This reliance can manifest in various ways: seeking constant approval from friends, family, or colleagues, or measuring our value based on external accolades and recognition. While it is natural to desire affirmation from others, excessive dependence on external validation can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and a diminished sense of identity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely asserted, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This statement encourages us to examine our reactions and the sources from which we derive our self-worth. When we place our value in the hands of others, we allow external circumstances to dictate our emotional state, leading to a fragile sense of self. Consider the example of an employee who constantly seeks praise from their supervisor. Every completed task requires validation, and without it, they feel unworthy or incompetent. This dependence on external affirmation creates a cycle of anxiety and insecurity. If their efforts go unrecognized, they may question their skills and abilities, leading to a diminished sense of self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By relying on others for validation, we risk compromising our happiness and well-being. Stoicism teaches us that true self-worth comes from within. Our value is not determined by the opinions of others or the accolades we receive. Instead, it is rooted in our character, our virtues, and our ability to live in accordance with our values. The Stoics emphasize the importance of cultivating inner strength, reminding us that we have the power to shape our self-image through our actions and intentions. One effective strategy to combat the dependence on external validation is to engage in self-reflection. Take time to identify the beliefs and thought patterns that contribute to your reliance on others for self-worth. Ask yourself questions such as, "Why do I seek approval from others?" Or, "What does their opinion say about me?" This introspection can help illuminate the underlying fears and insecurities that drive this behavior. For instance, if you find yourself constantly comparing your achievements to those of your peers, recognize that this comparison often stems from a fear of inadequacy. Instead of allowing these fears to dictate your self-worth, challenge them by reminding yourself of your unique strengths and contributions. As Seneca wisely stated, "A good character, when established, will never be shaken." This reinforces the idea that our worth is inherent and not contingent upon external validation. Another practical approach is to practice self-affirmation. Make a conscious effort to acknowledge your achievements, strengths, and values without waiting for external recognition. Create a list of your accomplishments, no matter how small, and take time to celebrate them. This could include personal milestones, professional achievements, or acts of kindness. By affirming your worth independently, you begin to cultivate a stronger sense of self that is resilient to external opinions. Consider the example of an artist who frequently seeks validation from critics and audiences. Instead of relying on external feedback to determine their worth, they can focus on their passion for creating art as a reflection of their values and identity. By prioritizing their love for the craft over external accolades, they can cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and self-worth that is not contingent on others' opinions. Additionally, it is crucial to set boundaries around the sources of validation in your life. While it is natural to seek feedback from others, it is essential to differentiate between constructive criticism and harmful judgments. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift and support you rather than those who diminish your sense of worth. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By consciously choosing the company you keep, you can create an environment that fosters self-acceptance and growth. Furthermore, engage in practices that promote self-sufficiency and inner contentment. This might involve pursuing hobbies, developing new skills, or taking time for self-care. By investing in your personal growth and well-being, you reinforce the idea that your worth is intrinsic and not reliant on external sources. As the Stoics taught, the pursuit of virtue and wisdom is the true measure of a fulfilling life. Another important aspect of overcoming dependence on others for self-worth is to cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Reflect on the qualities and strengths that make you unique and express gratitude for them. This practice shifts your focus from seeking approval to appreciating your intrinsic value. Gratitude can serve as a powerful antidote to the anxiety and insecurity that often accompany the desire for external validation. For example, if you find yourself feeling inadequate because of a lack of recognition, take a moment to appreciate the effort you put into your work or the kindness you show to others. Acknowledge that your worth is not contingent upon recognition but is inherent in your character and actions. As Seneca noted, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desire." This perspective encourages us to find contentment within ourselves rather than relying on external validation. Moreover, remember that it's okay to seek feedback and support, but it should not define your self-worth. Strive for a balance between valuing others' opinions and maintaining a strong sense of self. Seek constructive feedback from trusted mentors or friends, but don't allow it to dictate your identity. Recognize that everyone has their own journey, and your path is uniquely yours. In conclusion, depending on others for self-worth is a common challenge that can undermine our sense of identity and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to cultivate a sense of self that is rooted in our values and virtues rather than external validation. Engaging in self-reflection, practicing self-affirmation, setting boundaries, and fostering gratitude are essential steps in overcoming this dependence. As you move forward, commit to recognizing your intrinsic worth and the value you bring to the world. Remember that true self-worth comes from within and is not contingent upon the opinions of others. By embracing your unique journey and investing in your growth, you empower yourself to live authentically and lead a fulfilling life. The path to self-acceptance is a lifelong journey, one that is worth every effort and dedication. Sign 10. Staying in toxic situations. In our lives, we often encounter environments and relationships that are less than nurturing. Whether it's a toxic workplace, a draining friendship, or a dysfunctional family dynamic, many individuals find themselves remaining in these situations despite their negative impact on well-being. The reasons for this can be complex, ranging from fear of change to a desire for acceptance. However, staying in toxic situations can significantly undermine our self-worth, happiness, and overall quality of life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective invites us to recognize that while we may not have control over the behavior of others or the circumstances we find ourselves in, we do have control over our responses and choices. Staying in a toxic situation often reflects a choice to endure discomfort rather than take action to improve our circumstances. Consider the example of someone working in a toxic environment where negativity, gossip, and blame are rampant. They may find themselves dreading each workday, feeling drained and demoralized. Despite the stress and unhappiness the job brings, they might stay out of fear of financial instability, fear of the unknown, or fear of disappointing colleagues. This fear can lead to a sense of helplessness, which reinforces the idea that they are stuck in an undesirable situation. Stoicism teaches us the importance of evaluating our circumstances critically and making conscious choices about how we respond. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful insight encourages us to view challenges as opportunities for growth. If we find ourselves in a toxic situation, we must ask ourselves how we can respond in a way that aligns with our values and supports our well-being. One effective strategy for addressing toxic situations is to conduct a personal inventory. Take time to assess the relationships and environments in your life. Ask yourself, are these situations uplifting or draining? Do they align with my values and contribute to my growth? This self-reflection can help clarify whether it's time to make a change. For instance, if you recognize that a friendship consistently brings negativity into your life, it may be time to reevaluate the role that person plays. Additionally, it can be beneficial to set clear boundaries. In toxic situations, we often feel pressured to conform or accommodate the needs of others at the expense of our own well-being. By establishing boundaries, we create a framework that protects our mental and emotional health. For example, if a colleague continually undermines your contributions, consider addressing the behavior directly and assertively. You might say, "I appreciate your input, but I'd prefer to handle this project in my own way." Setting boundaries empowers you to reclaim your space and dignity. Another important aspect of leaving toxic situations is understanding that change is often necessary for personal growth. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature and embracing the flow of life. When we hold onto toxic relationships or environments, we resist the natural process of growth and change. As Seneca reminded us, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Taking the step to leave a toxic situation requires bravery and self-advocacy. To illustrate this, let's consider someone in a toxic romantic relationship. They may feel trapped, believing they cannot find love elsewhere or that they are unworthy of a healthy partnership. However, staying in a relationship that is emotionally draining can lead to long-term damage to their self-esteem and mental health. Recognizing that they deserve love and respect is essential. By taking the courageous step to leave, they open themselves up to new possibilities and potential for personal growth. Moreover, it's important to seek support from trusted friends or professionals when navigating toxic situations. Sharing your feelings and experiences with others can provide valuable insights and encouragement. Friends can offer perspective, while professionals, such as therapists or counselors, can help you develop coping strategies and navigate the complexities of leaving a toxic environment. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By choosing to prioritize your well-being, you take the higher road and refuse to be defined by the negativity around you. Another practical approach is to engage in self-care practices that bolster your resilience. When you're in a toxic environment, it's crucial to invest time in activities that rejuvenate and empower you. This could include exercise, meditation, pursuing hobbies, or spending time with supportive individuals. By nurturing your mental and emotional health, you build the strength needed to confront or leave toxic situations. Additionally, cultivate a mindset of abundance and self-worth. Recognize that you are deserving of positive and nurturing environments. Remind yourself that you can create a life filled with meaningful relationships and fulfilling experiences. As Epictetus stated, no man is free who is not master of himself. By mastering your choices and advocating for your well-being, you reclaim your freedom from toxic situations. Furthermore, visualize the outcomes of leaving a toxic environment. Envision what your life could look like if you were to remove toxic influences. Imagine the possibilities for growth, joy, and fulfillment that could arise from pursuing healthier relationships and environments. This exercise can help clarify your desires and motivate you to take action. In addition, it's essential to acknowledge that leaving a toxic situation can be a process. It may involve difficult conversations, emotional upheaval, and uncertainty. Allow yourself the grace to navigate this transition at your own pace. The Stoics understood that life is often unpredictable and embracing change is part of the journey. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it. By reframing your mindset around change, you empower yourself to face challenges with resilience and courage. In conclusion, staying in toxic situations is a common struggle that can significantly impact our self-worth and overall happiness. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to evaluate our circumstances critically and make conscious choices that support our well-being. Conducting a personal inventory, setting boundaries, seeking support, and engaging in self-care are essential steps in breaking free from toxic environments. As you move forward, commit to prioritizing your well-being and recognizing your worth. Remember that you deserve to live in environments that uplift and nurture you. By taking the courageous step to leave toxic situations, you open yourself up to new possibilities and the potential for personal growth. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and empowerment, and you will find that true fulfillment comes from living authentically and in alignment with your values. Sign 11. Holding back from your aspirations. In the journey of life, we often encounter dreams and aspirations that ignite our passions and fuel our drive. However, many individuals find themselves holding back from pursuing these ambitions due to various fears and self-imposed limitations. This hesitation can stem from a fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even a belief that we are undeserving of success. As a result, we may choose to remain in our comfort zones, sacrificing our potential for growth and fulfillment. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely observed, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This quote encapsulates the idea that success is not merely a matter of chance, it is the result of preparation, courage, and action. When we hold back from our aspirations, we often miss the opportunities that come our way, preventing us from realizing our true potential. Consider the example of a talented writer who dreams of publishing a novel. Despite having a compelling story to tell, they may hesitate to share their work, fearing that it will be met with criticism or rejection. This fear can lead to procrastination, causing them to continuously put off the writing process. They may tell themselves, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm not ready yet." However, by holding back, they not only delay their aspirations but also diminish their confidence and creativity. Stoicism teaches us the importance of courage and action in the face of fear. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This serves as a powerful reminder that while we may not control external circumstances, we do have the ability to choose how we respond to them. By acknowledging our fears and taking proactive steps toward our aspirations, we empower ourselves to overcome obstacles and seize opportunities. One practical strategy for overcoming the tendency to hold back is to confront and reframe your fears. Take time to identify the specific fears that are holding you back. Are you afraid of failure? Are you worried about what others might think? Once you have identified these fears, challenge their validity. Ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen if I pursue this aspiration? Often, we find that our fears are exaggerated and that the consequences of taking action are not as dire as we imagine. For example, if the fear of failure looms large, consider reframing it as an opportunity for growth. Instead of viewing failure as a reflection of your worth, see it as a valuable learning experience. The Stoics believed that every setback holds the potential for insight and development. As Epictetus stated, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Embracing a mindset of curiosity allows us to approach our aspirations with a willingness to learn and adapt. Additionally, it can be helpful to break your aspirations into smaller, manageable goals. When faced with a large ambition, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and discouraged. By breaking down your aspirations into actionable steps, you create a clear path forward. For instance, if your goal is to start a business, begin by researching your market, developing a business plan, or networking with others in your field. Each small step you take builds momentum and confidence, making the journey toward your aspirations feel more attainable. Moreover, seeking accountability can be an effective way to overcome hesitation. Share your aspirations with trusted friends, family, or mentors who can offer support and encouragement. By vocalizing your goals, you create a sense of commitment that can motivate you to take action. For example, if you aspire to run a marathon, consider joining a running group or enlisting a friend to train with you. This shared commitment not only provides motivation but also fosters a sense of community and support. Another important aspect of pursuing your aspirations is to cultivate a positive self-image. Our beliefs about ourselves can significantly influence our willingness to take risks and chase our dreams. If you struggle with self-doubt, practice self-affirmation by reminding yourself of your strengths, skills, and past successes. Create a list of accomplishments that reflect your capabilities and refer to it whenever you feel hesitant. This practice reinforces your self-worth and empowers you to take bold steps toward your aspirations. Additionally, it's crucial to recognize that the pursuit of aspirations is often accompanied by uncertainty and discomfort. The Stoics understood that life is inherently unpredictable and embracing the unknown is part of the journey. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This perspective encourages us to view obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than as barriers to our aspirations. By reframing challenges as integral parts of our journey, we cultivate resilience and determination. Moreover, practicing mindfulness can help you stay grounded in the present moment, reducing anxiety about the future. When we become overly focused on potential outcomes, we may hesitate to take action. Mindfulness encourages us to focus on the here and now, allowing us to approach our aspirations with clarity and intention. Consider incorporating mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or journaling into your daily routine. These practices can help you cultivate a sense of calm and focus, empowering you to pursue your goals with confidence. Finally, remember that it is never too late to pursue your aspirations. Many individuals achieve their dreams later in life, proving that the journey of growth and fulfillment is ongoing. The Stoics believed in the importance of lifelong learning and adaptation. As Seneca stated, life is long if you know how to use it. Embrace the idea that every day is an opportunity to take a step toward your aspirations, no matter your age or circumstances. In conclusion, holding back from your aspirations is a common challenge that can hinder personal growth and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to confront our fears, break down our goals, and cultivate a mindset that prioritizes action and growth. As you move forward, commit to recognizing your potential and pursuing your dreams with courage and determination. Remember that your aspirations are valid and you have the power to shape your future. By taking proactive steps toward your goals, you empower yourself to live authentically and lead a fulfilling life. The journey of pursuing your aspirations is a path filled with opportunities for growth, learning, and self-discovery, one that is worth every effort. Sign 12. Blind to your own value. In a world that often equates self-worth with external accomplishments and recognition, many individuals struggle to see their inherent value. This blindness to one's own worth can manifest in various ways, from self-doubt and insecurity to a reluctance to pursue opportunities that align with one's capabilities. The consequences of this mindset can be profound, affecting not only our personal happiness but also our professional success and relationships. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus poignantly stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This quote underscores the importance of self-awareness in recognizing our worth. When we fail to acknowledge our intrinsic value, we relinquish control over our lives, allowing external opinions and societal standards to dictate our self-perception. Consider the example of a talented individual who consistently receives praise for their work yet struggles to internalize this recognition. Despite positive feedback from colleagues and supervisors, they may think, "I was just lucky," or "anyone could have done that." This pattern of self-doubt not only undermines their confidence but also prevents them from fully embracing their abilities and potential. As a result, they may shy away from new challenges or opportunities, fearing that they will not live up to the expectations they believe others have of them. Stoicism teaches us that our worth is not contingent upon external validation but is inherent in our character and virtues. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this idea, stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By understanding that our value comes from within, we can begin to shift our focus away from seeking approval and instead cultivate self-acceptance. One effective strategy for overcoming the blindness to our own value is to engage in self-reflection. Take time to assess your strengths, accomplishments, and the qualities that make you unique. Consider keeping a journal where you document your achievements, skills, and positive feedback from others. This process of self-reflection allows you to acknowledge your worth and recognize the effort behind your successes. For instance, if you have received compliments on your leadership skills, write down specific examples of how you have demonstrated those skills in your work or community. Reflect on the challenges you faced and the virtues you embodied during those experiences. By documenting these achievements, you create a tangible record of your capabilities, making it easier to internalize your worth. Another essential aspect of recognizing your value is to challenge negative self-talk. Many individuals have internalized beliefs that diminish their self-worth, often stemming from past experiences or societal pressures. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and question the validity of these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a distortion of reality? For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," consider the evidence that contradicts this belief. Reflect on moments when you succeeded or received positive feedback. By challenging these negative narratives, you can gradually shift your mindset toward a more balanced and compassionate view of yourself. Moreover, it is crucial to practice self-compassion. The Stoics recognized that being human means being imperfect and that self-criticism can be detrimental to our well-being. As Seneca stated, "A good character, when established, will never be shaken." This reinforces the idea that recognizing our worth does not require perfection. Rather, it requires an honest acknowledgement of our strengths and weaknesses. Engaging in self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a good friend. When you experience setbacks or failures, instead of berating yourself, ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" This approach fosters a growth mindset, allowing you to view challenges as opportunities for development rather than as indicators of your worth. Another practical strategy is to seek feedback from trusted individuals in your life. Often, those around us can see our strengths and capabilities more clearly than we can. Share your feelings of self-doubt with friends, family, or mentors, and ask for their perspective on your abilities. Their insights can help reinforce your sense of value and provide a clearer picture of your strengths. Additionally, consider the importance of surrounding yourself with supportive and encouraging individuals. The people we associate with can significantly impact our self-perception. Seek out relationships that uplift and inspire you, while distancing yourself from those that bring negativity or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you create an environment that nurtures self-acceptance and growth. Furthermore, it's essential to embrace a mindset of abundance. Recognize that everyone has inherent value and that your worth is not diminished by the success of others. When you celebrate the achievements of those around you, you foster a spirit of collaboration and support rather than comparison and jealousy. This abundance mindset encourages you to appreciate your unique contributions and reinforces your sense of self-worth. For example, if a colleague receives a promotion that you desired, instead of feeling resentful, consider reaching out to congratulate them. Acknowledge their hard work and express your support. By doing so, you cultivate a positive relationship and shift the focus away from competition to mutual encouragement. This approach not only helps you recognize your value, but also strengthens your connections with others. Another vital aspect of recognizing your worth is to focus on your personal growth and development. Set goals that align with your values and aspirations, and take actionable steps toward achieving them. Engage in activities that foster your skills and interests, whether through education, hobbies, or community involvement. By investing in your personal growth, you reinforce the idea that you are deserving of success and fulfillment. Additionally, consider the long-term consequences of failing to recognize your value. When we neglect our self-worth, we may find ourselves settling for less than we deserve, whether in relationships, careers, or personal pursuits. This pattern can lead to feelings of stagnation and dissatisfaction, preventing us from living authentically. As Seneca noted, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Recognizing and embracing your worth is a courageous step toward living a fulfilling life. In conclusion, being blind to your own value is a common struggle that can hinder personal growth and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to cultivate self-awareness and acknowledge our inherent worth. Engaging in self-reflection, challenging negative self-talk, practicing self-compassion, seeking feedback, and surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals are essential steps in overcoming this blindness. As you move forward, commit to recognizing your unique qualities and the value you bring to the world. Remember that your worth is intrinsic, shaped by your character and actions rather than external validation. By embracing your individuality and investing in your personal growth, you empower yourself to live authentically and lead a fulfilling life. The journey of self-acceptance is ongoing, and every step you take toward recognizing your worth is a step toward greater happiness and fulfillment. Sign 13. Believing joy isn't meant for you. Throughout our lives, many individuals grapple with the belief that joy and happiness are elusive, perhaps meant for others but not for themselves. This mindset can stem from various sources, including past experiences, societal expectations, or deep-seated insecurities. When we internalize the notion that joy is unattainable, we may inadvertently create self-fulfilling prophecies that prevent us from pursuing happiness and fulfillment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus articulated a profound truth when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote serves as a reminder that our response to life's challenges plays a crucial role in shaping our emotional well-being. When we believe that joy is not meant for us, we may fail to recognize the opportunities for happiness that are present in our everyday lives. Consider the example of an individual who has faced setbacks in their career and personal life. They might think, "After everything I've been through, I don't deserve to be happy." This belief can lead to a cycle of negativity, where they overlook the small moments of joy in their daily routine, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or a kind word from a friend. By adopting this mindset, they create a barrier that prevents them from experiencing the very happiness they believe is out of reach. Stoicism teaches us that joy is not contingent on external circumstances, but is instead a product of our inner thoughts and attitudes. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this idea when he stated, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating positive and constructive thoughts, we can shift our perception of joy from something that is unattainable to something that is accessible, regardless of our circumstances. One effective strategy for overcoming the belief that joy isn't meant for you is to practice gratitude. Engaging in gratitude exercises can help shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Consider keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. This practice encourages you to actively seek out and acknowledge the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small they may seem. Over time, this can help rewire your mindset and foster a greater appreciation for the joys that already exist in your life. For example, if you find yourself feeling down about your current situation, take a moment to reflect on the relationships, experiences, and opportunities that bring you joy. Perhaps you have a supportive friend who always lifts your spirits, or you enjoy a hobby that brings you fulfillment. Acknowledging these sources of joy can help counteract the belief that happiness is unattainable. Additionally, it's important to challenge and reframe negative beliefs about joy. When you catch yourself thinking, "I don't deserve to be happy," ask yourself, "Why do I believe this?" Often, these beliefs are rooted in past experiences, societal conditioning, or comparisons with others. By questioning their validity, you can begin to dismantle these harmful narratives. For instance, if you believe that you must achieve a certain level of success before you can be happy, reflect on the achievements you have already accomplished. Recognize that joy is not a reward for success but an intrinsic part of the human experience. Moreover, it can be beneficial to engage in activities that foster joy and fulfillment. Identify the activities that bring you happiness and make time for them in your life. This could include pursuing hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or volunteering for a cause you care about. By actively engaging in activities that resonate with you, you reinforce the idea that joy is not only possible but essential for your well-being. For example, if you've always wanted to learn how to paint, set aside time each week to explore this passion. Allow yourself to enjoy the process of creating art, regardless of the outcome. This shift in focus from achievement to enjoyment can help cultivate a sense of joy that is independent of external validation. Another important aspect of overcoming the belief that joy isn't meant for you is to surround yourself with positive influences. The people we associate with can significantly impact our perception of happiness. Seek out relationships that support and uplift you, while distancing yourself from those that bring negativity or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By surrounding yourself with individuals who encourage a positive mindset, you can create an environment that nurtures joy and fulfillment. Consider the impact of participating in communities or groups that share your interests. Engaging with like-minded individuals can foster a sense of belonging and connection, reminding you that joy is not only possible, but also shared among those who support and inspire one another. For example, if you enjoy hiking, joining a local hiking group can help you connect with others who appreciate nature and adventure. Engaging in these activities together can create shared moments of joy and fulfillment. Furthermore, reflect on the importance of self-compassion in the pursuit of joy. Recognize that it is okay to feel sad or discouraged at times. These emotions are part of the human experience. Rather than judging yourself for these feelings, practice kindness and understanding. As Seneca stated, "A good character, when established, will never be shaken." Embracing your emotions, both positive and negative, allows you to foster a deeper sense of self-acceptance and resilience. It's also essential to remind yourself that joy is an inherent part of life, not a finite resource. Society often creates the illusion that happiness is reserved for a select few, or that it must be earned through success or achievement. However, the Stoics believe that joy can be found in the simplest of moments, whether it's enjoying a sunset, savoring a delicious meal, or sharing laughter with friends. By cultivating an appreciation for these small joys, you can shift your mindset and embrace the idea that happiness is accessible to all. Lastly, remember that pursuing joy is a journey, not a destination. The Stoics understood that life is full of ups and downs, and embracing the flow of life is essential to finding fulfillment. As Marcus Aurelius observed, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This perspective encourages us to view obstacles as opportunities for growth and learning. Embracing joy, even in the face of challenges, allows us to cultivate resilience and a sense of purpose. In conclusion, believing that joy isn't meant for you is a common struggle that can hinder personal growth and fulfillment. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can learn to cultivate self-awareness and recognize our inherent value. Practicing gratitude, challenging negative beliefs, engaging in fulfilling activities, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, and practicing self-compassion are essential steps in overcoming this mindset. As you move forward, commit to recognizing that joy is not only meant for you but is also an essential part of the human experience. Remember that you deserve happiness and fulfillment, regardless of your circumstances. By actively pursuing joy and embracing the small moments of happiness in your life, you empower yourself to live authentically and lead a fulfilling life. The journey toward joy is an ongoing process, one that is worth every effort and dedication. As we conclude our exploration of the 13 signs that indicate we might be undervaluing ourselves, it's essential to reflect on the profound wisdom of Stoicism that has guided our journey. Each of these signs, from settling for less than we deserve to believing that joy isn't meant for us, serves as a reminder of the power we hold within ourselves to shape our lives and perceptions. Stoicism teaches us that our worth is inherent and not dictated by external circumstances or the opinions of others. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This realization is the cornerstone of personal empowerment. It reminds us that we can reclaim our sense of value by choosing to focus on our virtues, strengths, and the unique paths we each walk. Throughout this journey, we have emphasized practical steps to break free from the chains of self-doubt and external validation. Whether it's through practicing gratitude, setting boundaries, or actively pursuing our passions, each action we take reinforces our worth and contributes to a life of fulfillment and purpose. For instance, consider the impact of journaling your achievements and reflecting on your values. By creating a tangible record of your successes, you cultivate a positive self-image and empower yourself to recognize your worth. This simple practice can transform your mindset and encourage you to embrace opportunities that align with your true self, rather than shying away from them due to fear or self-doubt. Moreover, surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals can significantly influence our journey. Engaging with like-minded communities fosters a sense of belonging and helps reinforce our worth. As Epictetus wisely noted, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. This principle underscores the importance of nurturing relationships that encourage growth and self-acceptance. As you reflect on the insights shared in this video, I encourage you to take action. Identify one sign that resonates most with you and commit to addressing it in your life. Whether it's practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, or actively pursuing your passions, taking that first step is crucial. Remember that change often begins with a single decision, and every small effort counts toward reclaiming your self-worth. In the spirit of Stoicism, embrace the idea that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. As Seneca stated, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." It takes courage to confront our fears, challenge our self-perceptions, and pursue the life we truly desire. As we wrap up this exploration, I invite you to join the Stoic Vivu community. If you found this video insightful and inspiring, please take a moment to like and share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us spread the wisdom of Stoicism and empowers others to recognize their worth and pursue their happiness with courage and conviction. Don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Vivu channel for more content that will guide you on your journey towards self-discovery and fulfillment. Together, we can create a community that uplifts and inspires, fostering a deeper understanding of Stoic principles and their application in our modern lives. Remember, you are worthy of joy, growth, and fulfillment. Embrace your potential, and let's continue this journey together.